All right, welcome back into Bettor's Last Stand, episode 13 here on a beautiful October afternoon. Some showers in the area, but I think we're going to stay dry, hopefully. Coach and myself, Matt, here. Luke's out. He's got a game today, so he wish him well. He'll be back next week, hopefully. Jubb running the controls as usual. It's been an interesting week here in the Pine Room. We have had some injuries. We've had some excitement. We have a lot of things brewing. We got just show after show, content oversaturation almost. Jubb probably doesn't know, and I just got attacked by a stink bug, which I'm really excited about that. I've been hitting the eye and the face. I got bit by some bugs last night when I was out here. But anyway, Coach, how's the rib today? You had a rough injury on Saturday, but it's good that you're here. You're battling through.
Yeah, for those who tune in and are familiar with the Pine Room, I had a late night injury. I slipped. Not sure how I slipped, but fell. I took weeks out too with me. Fell against one of our beer holders and ended up going to the urgent care on Sunday, and it was concluded that I had a broken 11th rib. So I've been in quite a bit of pain from Saturday evening now till today. It does feel a little better today, but it is broken rib is quite painful, as I have found out now. So that's probably our first big injury here in the Pine Room. We've had some other...
Champ's battling some ailments right now.
Champ's battling some ailments. Nick twisted his knee a little bit on a fall.
A 10-star fall. Yeah.
10-star fall. We had several other guys go down on Saturday. One of our visitors, Jay Cale, who came and cooked
the rib man.
Smoked us ribs. He took a spill. I
think Nick almost chipped a tooth on his
seagull. He threw the things up in the air. Nick does an incredible job throwing those pretzel things up in the air and catching them in his mouth. And might had some dental work to do on Tuesday or Wednesday.
So it was a rough Saturday, fun but rough. But
so you broke your 11th rib. That's kind of ironic, seeing we were watching 11-on-11 football. How fitting.
I don't know what it was. It the 11th too? No, yesterday was the Monday.
Oh yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah.
Tuesday would have been the 11th.
You should go put all your money on 11 on
blackjack
or
roulette.
Roulette, yeah.
Let's go.
But I am going to go out to the hospital and get a picture of the broken rib for everyone to. Jubb will post it on social media. I'm sure everybody will be anxious to see that.
Yes.
But I did see it, and it was completely broken. So first big injury. Could have been worse. I could have fallen in a fire or something. Right. But I recovered. Had a great evening. Had a great night, and had a lot of fun in the Pine Room. It was great. All the Pine Room guys were here. It was a good time. I think some guys did well. We all as a group threw in and won a nice bet on Oklahoma State as they scored a late touchdown to cover and held on at the end.
We took some work.
We had to really dig in on the hold them cheer, but we hung on and won by 10.
Yes.
So we have some money in the kitty, and then we'll have to come up with a pick this week. But it was a lot of fun.
We'll have to do that, and then we do our Busch Light pick, which was another heartbreaker. Back-to-back weeks. We were on the wrong side of things. A pick good enough to win. It just didn't happen. Steelers and Bills over. Off to a pretty good start. The Steelers, though, just could never get anything going. Red zone offenses were terrible for both teams. Field goal kickers were awful. We had 3 missed field goals in the game, so that would have put us over. So that was a tough one. We fought a 4-2 with those, but
it wasn't like we had a bad kicker.
Right.
I mean, we had one of the best.
And Buffalo's guys good too.
And
then Boswell's automatic for the chip shots.
One
was in the 33
yarder.
Yeah, and the other one was only in the low 40s.
Yeah, he's automatic, and we needed it over 44.
Listen, if we had the under in that game, he'd have stuck both of those.
And you don't ever say we should have, but that's one.
It was the right decision. I mean, we made a good pick there. It just didn't work out. And sometimes, as you guys know, bettors at home, if you're just starting into this or you've been around it for a long time, sometimes you have the right side or the right total. It just doesn't work. And there's just no way to avoid that. It's going to happen from time to time. So you just move on and try to bounce back. But on a more positive note, Luke Duplaga, who's going to join us later in the show, he went 2-0 again with the Tennessee Volunteers and the Las Vegas Raiders. He's been just sensational.
He's
8-2, I believe.
9-3 now. No, 9-3. He's 9-3 this season. So he's. I mean, if you're following him and putting $100 on every one of his picks, you'd be up about $500 right now, and that's unheard of. Even the sharp guys don't give out winners at that rate. So we'll be anxious to hear Luke's 2 picks. I'm sure he's working on those, and that's going to be coming up shortly.
Yes, absolutely. Our Pine Room picks, the ones that Joe posts every week, 16, 11, and 1, and we were up nearly 7 units there, so that was a good thing. Dogs, again, barking in the NFL, 9-6-1, 5 outright winners, 9-7 to the under. The unders and the dogs continue to hit in this NFL every single week. When's that going to change, Coach? Do you foresee that changing, or is it going to be like that most of the season?
Boy, I think the dogs. I think the dogs are the play this year. I just think it's. I looked at baseball.
Yes.
3 out of the 4 dogs in the first round of the playoffs in the wild card came in. Actually, the dog last night, the Mariners should have held on and won that game.
Yep.
They blew a late one, and then the Phillies. If the Braves don't win today, they're on a rope. So
sure,
they're on back to Philly. They're on right behind us, and so I think the dogs are the play this year. I really do.
No, I agree with you. Just recapping yesterday in baseball. I know you won't see this show. Actually, the series will be kind of probably into at least Game 3 by the time you see this. But the Phillies now favored in that series against the Braves, -165. The Astros a big favorite now over the Mariners, as expected, as they come back and get that Alvarez home run last night. Just crazy. I had these interesting notes that I found this morning. Second walk-off home run in postseason history with a team down to the last out, and Kirk Gibson was the other one. Against Eckersley in '88.
Actually, I was watching that game.
What a game!
And
when Vin Scully passed, I would have watched.
Well,
I'm
talking about the A's and the I'm sorry, the Mariners and the
Astros. Last night. Gotcha.
The Mariners actually were down to their last strike before Alvarez hit the home run.
Yeah. Interesting move, though, bringing Robbie Ray in.
They were actually surprised on the TV too that they were bringing him in, but they were down to their last. They had a full count on. I can't remember the hitter before Alvarez. Anyway, he got a 2-out, 2-strike single to keep things alive, and then they changed pitchers, and then walked it off.
That was also the first ever walk-off home run by a team trailing by multiple runs to the last out, too.
So some amazing things, like the Cardinals losing their lead in the ninth inning. The astronomical statistics against them. So you never know. Things just keep crazier things happen every day in betting.
Astros were 20-1 at one point in play. Just wish I'd have been. We were on the podcast. So I might have got in on that. Definitely like to take shots. I think that's another thing that you bettors out there who are new to this, especially with the live wagering menus that you have now. When these good teams get behind and you have teams that maybe their bullpen's a little taxed or they don't have a great bullpen, the Mariners actually do have a pretty good bullpen. Interesting move again, but moving Ray into the game there. But take a shot on these teams that are down and can come back. It worked for me with Seattle on Saturday. I was on the right end of that when they came back against Toronto, and then Seattle has the same thing done to them a couple days later.
You were way down farther when you made that bet than they were the other night.
But
you were down
I actually ended up missing out because I ended up doing some research on this, and there was places that had 150-1 on the Mariners on that game on Saturday. What happened with me is they had the rally already started when I made, so they had guys on base and nobody out, so it reduced the price. But I saw a few documented 150-1s in that situation.
Wow.
A lot of books wouldn't even put that up at that point. That's a rarity.
That's too risky.
Yes, you don't want to take a shot in a playoff game. You know how quickly things can unravel. If a pitcher gets on the ropes, that can happen pretty quickly. So these series should be good. I'm looking for Cleveland to battle in this series. I think they didn't play bad. They just can't hit. But the Yankees don't hit that well either. I think they still have a chance if Bieber can win tomorrow for them. I think they're going to be right in. And the Dodgers are going to be tough to beat. Thought maybe the Padres could steal one game from them. And then Braves, Phillies should go 5, I would imagine. And then the Astros might have been a kill shot already for the Mariners.
That's what I told Jared. I said they're done now. If they'd have won last night, they had an outside shot. I do, because they're playing with a little confidence. But that just
get 10 hits off Verlander, have a lead like that, and you can't hold on. That's killer.
But it's a great time of the year. Football right in the middle of football, baseball in its best time of the year.
Totally.
Hockey starting.
Hockey starting up right as we speak here tonight.
Matt's going to talk a little bit about. So it's a great time of the year. The weather's changing. I just told Matt I'm probably going to put my sweatshirt on here.
It's like in between. It's an in between day.
It was a wonderful day. We had a big fire going Saturday, actually, we had the heaters out in the morning because we had WKKX up here doing their Saturday sports huddle with Doc Georges and Mike Florak and Ross Johnston and Doug Huff, and we really had a great day. But it was chilly. We had the heaters going, had the fires going, and it's a great time of the year. And as you said,
Jubb looks excited. This is your kind of weather, Jubb.
Yeah, I was just watching the leaves fall.
Yeah, they're falling.
I was looking at the tree up over your head there and how it's changing. Like that's just a perfect sign. So good things ahead. We are gonna talk a little bit of hockey here in the first segment. I just want to go over a few things for people that are new to hockey betting. It's hockey betting's really taken off in the last few years with more states getting into the sports betting. You have more states that actually have NHL teams, so that has escalated hockey numbers, which is a great thing to see. The first period totals, overs and unders have been a really, really big thing. Teams going on massive runs during these. So as the season goes on, we'll highlight who's hot and who's not in those categories, and you want to jump on board, and it's always good to play on trends and things like that. So excited to get hockey going. We had 2 games last night with the Rangers winning a 3-1 game over Tampa, and then the Vegas Golden Knights outlasting the Kings 4-3. Just actually scored really, really late in the game. But just for those of you that are new to hockey betting, it's very similar to baseball. You have your money line, which is the price that people put on the favorite in the game, in the dog. So tonight you even have the Avalanche opening as a $4 favorite already in game number 1, which Schneid Dog told me to tell you. Now, you people at home won't see this. He said, tell Dell bet the Blackhawks tonight. If you're going to get Colorado, it's got to be tonight in the game 1. So
okay.
Yeah, so you heard it here first. But
so again, the money line, as Matt said, the team just has to win the game.
Win the game outright.
There's no spread. There's nothing. Just win the game. Now you got to take the odds. Obviously, you got to bet the favorite odds and the underdog odds. But it's just to win the game when you bet the money line.
Yes. So similar to baseball, as we were saying, hockey and baseball. When you're teaching this to people, like when I teach to my workers, people that don't know sports betting, is hockey and baseball sync up together, and then football and basketball. So you don't have point spreads in these. You have what they call puck lines, similar to the run line in baseball, where the favorite is -1.5. Pretty much across the board. Occasionally I would see a 2.5, and that is very, 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 very rare. But they do have alternates now where you can get Colorado tonight -2.5, 3.5, 4.5. Onward and upward. You can get the underdog reverse lines as well. So tons of offerings. Go through your apps, your DraftKings, your FanDuels, your Barstools, your Caesars, all those apps that are here in West Virginia. Some of the ones that are coming to Ohio, there's even going to be even more. So I'm excited about that for any of our Ohio viewers. That's really cool coming around the corner here in the 1st of January. But check your apps out. Look for all these potential things that you can do. First period unders are a huge thing. Totals usually around 1.5 in those games. Occasionally you'll see a 2. As I discussed a little bit ago, you'll be able to see trends developing. So those are ones you kind of wait and see. Take a week or 2, and then you start getting on those, whether you like teams who are very good scoring in the first period or teams that lock it down pretty good in the first period. So lots of chances to win. You get the instant gratification. You got 20 minutes to the last. Those are good sweats, too. They're fun. You're eking it out, grinding out the clock, and then you got a winner in your pocket in 20 minutes. So you hope.
Yeah, well, and then if you bet the whole game, then a lot of times it comes down to that empty netter.
Yes, and the way they pull the goalies early nowadays, another analytical thing. These goalies are coming out of the net with 5-6 minutes to go at some point. So that can really blow a total up. But we'll talk more about that. But again, just to reiterate, money lines and puck lines similar to baseball, and you also have your totals. So you're going to see most games sticking around the 5.5 to 6.5 range. The average is going to be 6.5 most nights now. The league's favoring scoring right now. Defenses, it is not as easy to play. It's a very wide open game now. Penalties a little bit stricter, so you get more power play opportunities and things like that. The one thing that offsets that is the goalies have these giant equipment that I think Jubb could probably stop 35 shots.
Well, we may see that down the road.
Yes. Hopefully Soup's got something coming with the nailers, maybe.
So we'll make that huge announcement because we'd like to have about 8,000 to 9,000 people pack the pack West Banco Arena for Jubb's debut in the goal. That's going to be,
and you'll be able to bet on those games as well too. If all goes well, I'll have the lines on the games. my company, Wheeling Island Casino, is the only place that offers nailer lines currently. So be sure and check those out if you're interested in ECHL hockey. You can bet on the nailers every night of the year.
And you can also bet Mountain East Conference football and basketball at the casino, which is not offered anywhere else. So those are always fun. Now with the Mountain East football, it's just West Liberty and Wheeling.
Yeah, currently I wanted to see how it goes first, and then if we continue. We've gotten it's been very well received. I expect basketball to probably be even better received. Yeah. People seem to follow that even more, especially with the success of West Liberty in the recent years. So always fun stuff. I enjoy doing those, making those lines up and putting them up for people. So keep an eye on those if you're into that stuff.
And then I do want to, before we take a break, I want to look at our pending season picks. I don't usually tout myself because I'm usually not very good. But if we look back at my and all of us, but I've actually, if you got on any of my future bets, I'm looking pretty good, Matt.
You are UCLA with a big win again.
UCLA has gone to 6-0, and I've got them over 8 wins. They got to go to Oregon, which will be tough, but they got Stanford at home. That should be a win. They go to Arizona State. They have Arizona at home, which should be a win, and they go to Cal. So all I need is 3 more wins, and I win a T-shirt, a Fresno State T-shirt over
the mighty Bulldogs who lost to UConn.
Yikes! Yeah. So and then in the Big 12, I have Kansas. I already have a winner there. They're 5-1. I had them over 2.5. I have Wake over 8.5 in the ACC, and they're 5-1. And they've got Boston College this week. They got North Carolina and Syracuse at home, and they go to Duke. So if I can squeeze out 4 more there, which I think I can, and then the SEC, my play there was Georgia over Oregon, and I hit that easily first week of the year. Now I lost Purdue against Penn State first week in Big Ten, and then NFL. I have to tout myself again. I've got Arizona under 9. I love that bet, and I still absolutely love it.
Great bet.
They're 2-3 now and under 9. And then NFC East, I have the Eagles over 9.5. They're 5-0, so I got a shot there. And then the Jags, that's going to be a battle. I don't know about them. And you've had some tough your future plays with injuries. So.
Yeah, that hasn't turned out very well. But especially the player prop.
Those are fun. The future bets are fun to follow. They're fun now. Do you like any future bets heavy in hockey?
Yeah, I actually do. There are a couple I wanted to mention just before we take a break. Yeah, absolutely. A team I'm really high on this year that's going to be – they're going to be an underdog a lot of the nights of the year, but I think this team could be very good by the end of the season. They got a really, really good young group of guys that started to show some signs of being pretty good last year, and that's the Anaheim Ducks. Right now, you can get them at plus 695 to make the playoffs if you can find that somewhere. And again, these update regularly. The season's starting, started last night, full slate tonight and tomorrow. So if you can get this Ducks bet in before it goes down, I would take a strong look at that. Plus 695 for the Anaheim Ducks to make the playoffs. I really like that one a lot. I like the Boston Bruins to make the playoffs. That's minus 195. And then 2 teams that I like to miss the playoffs, the New Jersey Devils, minus 155 to miss the playoffs, and the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't like this roster. I don't like their goaltending. They got Marc-Andre Fleury out of there now. Don't see much to like there. They did win last night, but I like them at plus 175 to miss the playoffs. So those are 4 to miss the playoffs. Point totals, I like the Ducks over 80.5 points a lot. Really, really like that bet a lot. I would definitely take a look at that. I also like the Washington Capitals, over 96.5 points. They're going to be better than they were last year. They had a lot of guys out hurt, and they got upgraded goaltender. Really look for them to be in a really good division. They got a chance. They have as good a chance as anybody, and also take a look at them to win the Metropolitan Division. You can get them at plus 750, which is a great price on the Caps. One more team I like over the total, the Carolina Hurricanes. They'll be fighting it out with the Caps in that division. Very good team, solid structure, good coach with Rod Brindamore. I like them over 101 points, so I would definitely take a look. Couple unders. Again, Golden Knights under 97.5 points. I really think that's a great bet. That's a tough division they're in. Teams are getting better, and they're getting worse. I also like the Devils under their point total of 89, and the Blackhawks under their total of 63. The Blackhawks could be the worst team in the NHL, and there's a lot of teams that they're thinking are going to start to tank. There's a really good player that's coming out. Bedard, I believe his name is. Anyway, they're going to kind of tank for him. He's kind of like the best guy.
Connor Bedard?
Yes, yeah. He's really, really good, and I expect a lot of these teams to tank and try to possibly get him if they're out of contention midway through the season. So those are a couple of bets that I liked. Again, that's the Bruins. I'm very high on the Bruins. I'm high on the Ducks. I'm high on the Capitals. Hurricanes over their point total as well.
How about your beloved Penguins?
The Penguins, I think, will be pretty good. I think they'll be a little bit better than last year. They're old, though. Oldest team in the league. But they did get a couple upgrades. They get Jeff Petrie on the blue line. Not Jeff Petrie from the Vets. But,
okay.
I don't think he can skate quite as good as this Jeff Petrie. But Jeff Petrie from the Canadiens, they got in a deal. He's a very good two-way defenseman. I think he'll upgrade them a lot. And then they brought back the nucleus guys. Malkin re-signed. Letang re-signed. They held on to Ricard Raquel, who's a very good winger. They got Jake Gensel, who continues to get better every year. And then Tristan Jarry was really good in net, so I think they'll be pretty good. They'll be in the mix. They're a playoff team. Just don't know. They kind of get a little stale in the playoffs. They blew that lead last year to the Rangers 3-1. I thought they looked old and tired then, so that worries me as the year goes on. I wish these coaches would give these older guys nights off once in a while.
Yeah, I was going to say last year I noticed that there were several spurts during the year where they would go on streaks, losing streaks, and you would think that they were done, and then they would rebound and come back and win 3 or 4 in a row. But
very streaky team. You're exactly
the
right.
Age may show its ugly head against the Penguins if because hockey's a grinding. So, baseball's a grind, but hockey I would imagine is the next toughest sport on the body for these and mentally for these guys.
It is, and then just to hit on a couple of betting trend type things that I like to look for in these before we take our break and talk college with Luke Duplaga. You're listening to Bettor's Last Stand if you just joined us midway through, like if we're on the radio jump. But anyway, I get used to that after doing the show down there at WKKX, which is really fun. We do every week. If you're not aware of that, 2 to 3 every Mondays down there. We talk high school football. It's really cool. We do lines on all the games and have good discussions about all that stuff. But anyway, just to hit on a couple of things. This is a really favorite-dominated league right now. You're going to see giant favorites. Stay away from those if you can. I know it's tempting to lay $4 with the Avalanche tonight, but it's not really worth it. You want to try to find those dogs, good price dogs that you can find a good reason to bet them, whether they're playing their starting goalie and the other team's not, or they have a good matchup, whatever, power player, the other team's best guy's not playing. Find something where you can get a little bit of value on your bets in the low 120, 130, 140 plus range where you have a chance to maybe get some return. If you lose one time, if you're laying 4 units tonight on Colorado, you lose one time, it's going to take you several games to get that back.
Yeah, so. and just refer back to baseball. We talked several weeks ago. $4 favorites this year. At one point, I think there were 8. I think they were 1-7. I believe the $4 favorites. So you're taking a huge risk. It looks so easy, but more times than not, that $4 favorites for some reason doesn't win the game. And as you say, it takes a long time to recover that. As if you're playing a good value bet. You're just pretty much even money or down a little bit.
Yeah, and you can come out ahead. Instead of dropping 4 units right out of the gate. But anyway, take a wait and see approach with some of these teams. I recommend don't dive in right away if you don't feel great about something. But you're going to see things. You're going to hear me talk throughout the year on the show about teams coming off of road trips. One of my favorite angles is teams that come back home after a 3 or more game road trip. I absolutely love this. I love it in the NBA as well. I don't bet a lot of NBA, but I really, really love this team. This Trend. There we go. That was what I was trying to think of.
Yep.
Trend, yes. This trend. Coming back after 3 games or more on the road, I think, is really valuable. I think the team that comes in their home building, they're worn out from that trip, and the other team coming in, a little bit more energy. I always tell Chris, the guy gets back home, his wife's on him to do his chores. He's been on the road for 12 days. He gets back. She's on his ass. The kids are crying. He's not getting any sleep, and he's got to get to the rink and show back up for a game after a long road trip. Yeah. I love that angle. I love the road team in those spots.
That's good point.
We'll talk a lot about that. I think those things hit in the 60 range. I feel like it's pretty good for me over the past year. So there's one that I really, really like a lot, and we'll talk more about those. Starting goalies are just like pitchers, back-to-backs especially. Be aware which game is the top goalie going to play? If the Penguins play back-to-back, look for the night that you think Jari's going to play, or read Twitter. Find the reporters that asked Mike Sullivan that question. Like, okay, tonight we play the Senators, so we're going to start our backup, and then tomorrow we play the Capitals, so most likely Jari will play. So stuff like that, be aware of it. You continue to learn here with us. We'll talk hockey throughout the season. We'll talk a little NBA. We'll need Luke for that especially. But it's fun. We're looking forward to it. Hockey, baseball, football, everything cranked up right now. The weather's starting to get cool. Good stuff happening here at the Pine Room. We're going to take a quick break on Bettor's Last Stand and get back with Luke Duplaga and see if he can keep the hot streak going with his Generations Parlay of the Week. You're listening to Bettor's Last Stand. We'll be right back.
This show is for informational and entertainment purposes only. All wagering activity should only be conducted by those 21 years of age or older and within the confines of federal, state, and local law. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, contact 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
All right, welcome back into Bettor's Last Stand. We're pleased to be joined by our man down at Generations, Luke Duplaga, who's red hot after a 2-0 weekend in handicapping.
You can't touch him right now.
Tennessee Volunteers a winner, and his beloved Las Vegas Raiders, which, sorry, buddy, you didn't come out on the right end of that money line win, but you covered the spread for us, and we appreciate it. You've been doing great. We appreciate the time and effort you're putting in, giving us these big winners. You had Tampa selected last week, but we scared you off that with the Brady info, but it worked out anyway. What'd you think of your Raiders on Monday Night Football? That was a tough loss.
Oh, man. First of all, the roughing the passer on Derek Carr, you got to call it. You got to call it.
Yes.
The defensive holding on the field goal.
Horrendous.
I mean, he barely moves. Yeah. I mean, that looked like the bench player. The defensive lineman should get in trouble because he even tried on the play.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, heartbreaker.
And I think it's a catch on – I think Devontae Adams caught the ball. If he doesn't release that hand and bring it back, I mean, the ball, slow motion looks like it's never moving.
Yep.
I don't know. That could have gone either way, but it's just – I hate Patrick Mahomes. Anybody that could wish an injury upon it.
I'm sure. I understand it being in your division. I'm sure that has to get tough each week, each year having to play him twice and Justin Herbert twice, and man, that's tough. But anyway, you've been hot from the betting standpoint, so we're happy to talk about that. Where are we going this week? We doing 1-1, or are we sticking in? Going college only, or
before we get into that, Luke, let's talk a little bit about Generations. And first of all, my question to you is, with the Steelers being as bad as they are, I've been meaning to ask, guys that own restaurants and bars, have you noticed a dip in your crowds, like on Sundays, that now that the Steelers are just really bad?
Yes, definitely. And you know another thing, Mark? It's going to crush the Super Bowl boards.
Oh, yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
I could tell from, especially this week, everybody was gone by halftime. But one good thing about us is I call us like a diversified team bar, because everybody knows we love the Raiders, so we're not slamming the Steelers on Sunday. So we get a lot of Bills Mafia. Nice. Tom Ames, he's got a bunch of guys.
Oh, yeah.
I saw Tom after he was at your place on Sunday, yeah.
Yeah. So he brings out a crew. We got a crew of about 15 guys that like a bunch of different teams, a couple Dolphins fans. So I like to call us like a diversified NFL team bar. I mean, they know if the Raiders are on, the Raiders are going to be on the sound. They know if like the Bills are on and the Steelers aren't, the Bills are going to be on the sound.
That's
great. Et cetera, because we always pleased with what they want. But the Steelers are on, they're going to have the sound. But I do notice like I think all the Steelers fans understand it's going to be very maybe a 6 to 7 win season.
Oh, at best. I'm telling you, if they get to 6 or 7, I think that's going to be a miracle. I really do. I mean, with their schedule coming up the next 3 games, they're probably going to lose those 3. And, before they said, well, a couple years ago, everybody thought we lost it early and then bounced. But I don't see it happening this year with the Steelers. I just don't.
Yeah. I mean, we get a decent amount of Browns people, too. I'm not going to lie. A crew. You remember Coach Stanko?
Oh, yeah.
He has a crew every Sunday. He's a big Lions guy. And his buddies are Steelers people, but he's always out there.
Well,
So, I mean, our Sunday is our biggest day. So, I mean, we're not. I could definitely sell from Steelers fans, but other than that, it's booming, baby.
So besides that, what's going on at Generations? What do you got cooking? I know we got Marshall tonight. What's going on out there, and then burger night, and then your buckets. What's happening?
Tonight we got our 85-cent wings, 75% 75-cent pierogies, 60-cent boneless with buckets of beer because Marshall's on. Thursday night football with our burger night, always banging with the Pine Room Burger.
Oh.
And then Friday, it's a dinner special to be announced. Saturday during the day, we honor the wings and pierogies and buckets for the games. Saturday night, we'll have acoustic music, pretty sure. My dad said, yeah, we're pretty sure we'll have acoustic music.
Cool.
And Sunday is all day, wings and pierogies, buckets of beer.
Awesome.
Happy hour all day, every Sunday.
All right. Well, good. Well, keep up the great work. We appreciate you guys. And
yeah, great stuff, Luke. Appreciate all you guys have done for us, and it's been fun talking with you every week.
The menu's coming out here soon. We're switching up a couple of things with the obviously the Pine Room Burger going on, and then we're adding a little grape leaves, little Greek to it.
Oh, all right.
A couple of different little things cooking.
All right,
I like it. Be done here in a couple of weeks.
You guys never slow down. I love it. You and your dad, you guys are nuts. I love it.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's get into these winners this week. Where are we going this week, Luke?
Let's go up to Syracuse, New York, but we're not going with the Qs. We're going to go NC State plus 3.5.
Wolfpack. All right.
I like that. I like that play a lot. I think Syracuse's bubble burst too. I like that play. All right.
Yeah. And then we're going to go back to the AFC West. Russ is going to cook Sunday night. I like the Broncos plus 5.5.
Okay.
I think that comes down to the end.
All right. I like it. That's your division. You know a lot about that. So Broncos plus 5 against the Chargers. All right.
You like everybody to hang on. You keep giving those Sunday night, Monday night games. Everybody's got to hang on for that second winner. So we're going Monday night. Broncos.
Is it Monday or Sunday?
Monday.
That's Monday.
Against
Monday.
Yep.
Against the Chucks.
I got to stay up.
Yeah, I know. That's
man.
tough.
Okay, so we got NC State.
That's a midday game, I believe. 3:30 on ACC Network. Catching 3.5 at the Carrier Dome.
And then we're going with Denver catching. What do you got that line at, Matt? 5?
On 5, yeah.
Plus 5. So we're going 2 dogs. 2 dogs. See if he can stretch his record to 11-3. And never.
We're on a 4-game roll, aren't we?
Yeah,
Yes,
you're a 4-game roll. Those are uncharted waters, pal. You keep it up. You keep doing that homework. I'm going to the win.
Baby, let's go.
I'm going to the casino tomorrow and lay my last paint job money on it, buddy. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
All right, Luke.
Don't forget
good.
Forget the Super Bowl awards to start out Generations.
Yeah.
Yes, get down there, people. Get down there.
Hey, what do you got? You got 100 and a 50?
We got $100 pay every score, $50 pay every score. Once I sell those, I'm gonna do another 100.
You love that pay every score, don't you? They love that out there.
Oh man, that's probably the best thing I've ever heard.
I introduced him to that one. He said they went nuts on that.
Yeah,
so
that's a good one. That's
well, you know one thing, the Pine Room guys will be out to see you. Save us a bunch of squares.
Oh, I will.
All right, buddy. Well, thanks for joining us, and good luck this weekend down at the restaurant and with your bets. And we will talk to you next week here on Bettor's Last Stand.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Luke. All right, so that was Luke Duplaga giving us 2 nice underdogs there, Coach.
I like NC State a lot. Actually, that's one of my best plays of the week. Now, the Broncos, I'm not sold on that one. I just don't. They're not very good, but you never know.
No.
What I think and what I know are way two different.
Yeah. So we now are going to dive into this college card. The moment you've all been waiting for to get our winners. I know everybody's waiting for Jubb's winners of the week. But,
well, Jubb, what are you now in the high school?
You're a high
Jubb?
school guy.
Yeah, I think I'm. I think I'm 6-2. 6-2, I think.
6-2.
No, 6-3.
6-3. I think you took over the lead. It's incredible, and he just keeps studying. Actually, he's over there studying the college lines right now.
Yes, when he's not putting new garments into the store. So be sure and check out Jubb's new garments that look very spooky and great seasonal gear. ThePineRoomShop.com. Be sure and check that out. Jubb, did those go in there yet, or you just got the designs done?
No, they're up there now.
Okay, great. So check them out. So when you're watching this show, jump on there. Get your good crew neck sweatshirts. He's got this incredible Halloween season logo. And again, reminder, a Halloween party down at River City.
Yes.
On the 28th, Friday night. That is a Halloween party from 7:30 to 9. They got a giant costume contest where they're giving away 2 tickets to Nashville. So come on out and check that out. Spread the word. From what I hear, it's a great party every year. So be sure and find us that night. We got our Ohio County Schools tailgate on November the 4th. That'll be Wheeling Park versus John Marshall down at Wheeling Island Stadium. Should be a good game there. Park's taking on Musselman this week in a big matchup as Musselman heads to the Northern Panhandle. And then be sure and email us, contact at thepineRoomPodcast.com, and then our social media, The Pine Room Podcast, at The Pine Room Podcast. Be sure and find us on there. You'll be able to keep tabs on everything we're doing. When is Soup's show? You went down and visited with Sarah's on Main?
Yeah, we had
Soup
an interview
and stuff?
with Sarah Lydek for Sarah's on Main. We talked to her for about 30 minutes. That'll be up this upcoming Monday. So
okay, great. So
2
keep an
days
eye
from now.
out. Yep,
Yeah.
keep an eye out for that. Jub and Soup on the move all the time. Soup's got Jub working 8 days a week right now. So
that's incredible.
he'll keep up the energy, but Soup right now is just putting so much effort into this, and we can't thank him enough. He's doing incredible work. So check that out, Soup and stuff. It's going to be fun as we continue to add things to the Pine Room umbrella. All right, let's not mess around any longer.
Yeah.
Let's get into these games. Well, you're going to see this show on Friday, so the Mountaineers will have played. Coach, a quick opinion on that game tomorrow night.
I love that game under the total.
Okay.
That's one of my better plays. I wish people could get that in before this came out because I like that game under the total. West Virginia's their top running back is out. Baylor holds the defensive the opposing team's running game to I believe it's like 98 yards rushing a game. The Mountaineers have I think is a pretty good defense. I think the number is too high at 55. I really like that game under the total.
Okay.
Any opinion there, Matt?
Yeah, I thought I was interested in this game because I thought the line would be more like -5 for Baylor. Being it opened at 3, it's around 3.5 now, but a lot of sharp money coming in when it went to 3.5 on the Mountaineers, which I thought was interesting. I've been a Baylor backer all year. That was one of my preseason win total bets. I still think they're pretty good. I think they're well coached. I would lean Baylor in this game. I think that number's a little low, but we'll see. Mountaineers are tough on Thursday night. It'll be a wild house down there.
No, it will be.
I would lean your under too, though, if I had to make a pick on the total. Definitely. Yep. I think that's a grinded out game. Baylor very good in the trenches, so I expect that to be a very, very physical game. But anything Friday night, Coach? There's 2 games there.
Your team you touted from the beginning, UTSA.
Yeah.
I mean,
Johnson's Roadrunners, as Nick likes to call.
Against probably arguably one of the worst teams in the country. Laying 32, I think they just roll over them.
I'd look for that game over as well.
I agree.
I think FIU will get a couple of shit scores, I think, and I think they but UTSA pretty much can name the score. FIU plays a little up-tempo this year, too, which they haven't done before. So I think some points definitely in that game on Friday night. Navy, SMU. I don't know. I can't get Navy gauged. I was against them one week. They win. I was on them, and they lose. So I'll pass on that one.
Me too.
For now. All right, let's move on to the noon kicks on Saturday. Big game right out of the chute. Penn State, the Nittany Lions visiting the Big House. Michigan Wolverines. Michigan -7. The total 52. Sharp money showing on Penn State here. I like Penn State. If I could get 7 in the hook, I'd love them. Going to depend on the number for me here, Coach. How do you feel about this game?
I feel the same way. If I could get 7.5, I'd really like it. I'm not sold on Michigan. I think they're very good, but I'm not sold that they're.
I can see Michigan winning by a field goal. I think
agree.
It'll be a tight game.
I agree.
2 solid teams.
And I see this game playing close to the vest also, and I'd like the game under the total a little bit, but if I could get 7.5, I would definitely take the Nittany Lions.
Thought the total was a little high for a Penn State game. You don't see 50s.
I agree.
Often. And Michigan is one of those misleading teams. They played a lot of bad teams, so they're scoring some points points, but I think in these conference games it tightens up. I would definitely look under. I'm expecting that number to start dropping. It hasn't yet, but I'm going to try to jump on that actually and get under that 52. All right, on to the SEC. Auburn at Ole Miss. Ole Miss minus 14.5. Total 54.5. Sharp money on Ole Miss here. It's just a matter of time, I think, before Auburn's guy gets the axe. He's hanging on for dear life. Can they spring an upset here? They have anything for Ole Miss, who's a pretty good team.
Ole Miss is very good. Auburn's this game is at it's in Oxford.
Yep.
Auburn's 12-3. Straight up in Oxford in the last 15 meetings and 10-5 against the spread.
Yep.
But I think this is a different Auburn team.
Sadly so, yep.
Yeah, if you watch them play the last couple of weeks, they're just not very good. Ole Miss, on the other hand, I think is a very good team, and I'd play Ole Miss here, laying the 14.5. I don't like that hook, but
keep an eye out. I expect it to probably go up, though, unfortunately. I think the best of the number is gone, but I would lean Ole Miss as well. Auburn, they're just down there. The boosters are just ready to pounce and get rid of this coach. So not good times there for War Eagle. On to our next game, Big 12 matchup. Iowa State visiting the Texas Longhorns. Texas minus 16.5. That opened at 14.5, so good steam on Texas already. Total 49.5. The total's taken some sharp money to the under.
Yes.
The last 7 of these meetings between these two have gone under. So
average of 34 points.
Yeah, Iowa State's always an under team to me. Texas is a little dangerous to play under, I think, this year because their offense is a little bit better.
Well, and I think the question is Texas as good as they showed last week, or is Oklahoma as bad as they've shown
maybe
the
last
2 weeks?
Yeah.
We're going to get to that Oklahoma line on Kansas, laying them 7-8.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. That's a fishy line there,
sure is.
Real fishy. But back to Texas, I like Iowa State getting those points. I really do.
I would too, and I'm not an Iowa State guy. I don't think Matt Campbell's a great coach, but he's very good as an underdog. He has been good in his career as an underdog.
And Iowa State's won the last 3 meetings with Texas. So I like Iowa State to cover in this game. I really do. I think they will give Texas a battle.
Okay. Not going to talk too much about this game for time restraints, but I do like the Old Dominion Coastal Carolina game over 56.5. That's a play that I like. Didn't know if you had any thoughts on that game, really.
Not much.
I do like that over. I think that'll be a high-tempo game. Both those teams play quick tempo offenses. So like that game over. Get it 56.5. It's going to start moving up, I would think, to about 58. All right, Big Ten battle. Minnesota Golden Gophers on the road at the Illinois Fighting Illini. Minnesota minus 6.5. Total 38. I was conflicted in this game. Sharp money showing on Minnesota. I've been a Minnesota guy, but they've kind of stubbed their toe, and the running back being out 2 weeks ago hurt. Illinois is one of these teams. They're tough to count on, but they've been all right. They play very close to the number in their games so far this year. I think they won by 3 last week against Iowa. Depending on what you got that number at, you were on the right or the wrong side there. I don't have a play in this game. I really don't love either side in this spot.
Well, Illinois beat Minnesota last year,
right?
At Minnesota. So Minnesota's looking for a little revenge here. But I'm with you. I don't have a strong feel. That's a low total at 38, but I don't see a lot of points being scored in this game. If I was to play it, I'd probably lean to the under in this game. But again, I don't no strong feel.
I think Minnesota is definitely the better team here, better coach. I think if they have all their personnel and the Ibrahim running back kid that he's able to play, I would probably go with Minnesota. But I don't love it enough, and on the road it's just so tough. And Illinois is improved. They have been a little bit better.
They have been better. Yes.
Yep. All right, moving on to a Big 12 showdown. Coaches Kansas Jayhawks visiting the Oklahoma Sooners. We mentioned this game a couple minutes ago. Oklahoma minus 7.5. The total 64.5. Coach, I don't know. I think the Jayhawks are getting a little disrespect here.
Yeah, I do too. I just can't understand this line. I don't just because it's home or what. I mean, Kansas is obviously not the same team they've been the doormat in the Big 12 the last several years, but are they coming back to earth a little bit after that loss last week and then head back on the road? Oklahoma has to play better. They cannot play as bad. We watched that Oklahoma-Texas game last week, and that was that was very, very difficult to watch.
What are your people in Lawrence telling you about the status of Jalen Daniels, the quarterback? I know they say he's got a separated shoulder. They haven't said if he's going to play or not.
They have not said.
Yeah, so last night it broke that he was out for the year, and then he was on social media saying, whoa, that's news to me. I'm not out for the year. So definitely clear that up, fans out there, bettors. Be sure you check that information out. That is very, very key. Right now, I'm not sure if they have that 7.5 accounting that he will not play or he's going to play. So that number could change based on that news. I would expect him not to be able to play. It's going to be tough to play with a separated shoulder 1 week after you get it. So
I'm still leaning the Jayhawks here. I'm going to.
I would too, and you may end up getting that number. It might go up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Oklahoma has some issues right now. One thing I did like the over in this game, but I will not be doing that if Daniels is even questionable.
No.
Kansas had been 12-2 to the over after straight up home loss. So I don't know. This game's going to be a wait and see for me. Oklahoma's kind of in shambles. Kansas has a little bit of injury problems, but if the Jayhawks are well coached. I think they can keep it within a touchdown.
I agree.
Regardless.
I'm on that.
Okay,
yes.
Let's move along to my Miami Hurricanes visiting the Virginia Tech Hokies. Miami -7 on the road right now. It was 7.5 down to 7. Total 47.5. Not going to waste people's time talking about this awful team that I like, but I'm not a Virginia Tech guy either. I think they're very down this year. I think Miami gets well here, and I think they win this game pretty handily. It's not often you can go to Blacksburg and beat up on these teams, so I think everybody who's on the road this year down there is going to take advantage and pay double attention to try to get a nice victory because that may not last forever. I'm on the Canes.
Yeah, and both these teams are on 3-game losing streaks.
Yes.
I'm with you there. I think Miami gets healthy. I think Virginia Tech's terrible. They came through for us again last week against Pitt.
Yep.
That looked up in the air. As that game went, but Pitt ended up covering. And I like Miami to go in there and get the cover.
Yep. All right. Let's move. Coach, any of the other games in the early hours that you had too much interest in? All right, let's move on to the other big game of the day, a huge game as the Crimson Tide of Alabama head to Neyland Stadium to take on the Volunteers. Alabama -7. The total 65.5. It actually has gotten to 7.5 in several places. Tennessee 9-2 to the over the last 3 years at home. I don't know. I think this is going to be a good game. I think.
Well, obviously Bryce Young.
Yep. If Bryce Young plays,
that's a big question.
Yeah,
Tennessee's got a lot of momentum right now, and they played really, really well.
And their crowd is really pumped. That was almost like a home game for them last week. They were on the road.
Yeah, game day coming to Knoxville, and they really looked good last week against LSU. They came out of the gate and just buried LSU early.
Sure did.
And I think I look for them to battle them now. Alabama's one of those teams that play down to their competition or up to their competition. So one thing, Saban will have them ready.
Yes.
And again, if Bryce Young plays, that's a whole different game. But I would take the Vols at home getting the points.
Another cool thing about that game too, I believe this is the case, but Kristen Roberts, or my cousin Mark's niece. Nate, her second son, is supposedly going on his recruiting visit at Tennessee for this game.
No kidding.
He and Brian are supposed to be going to this game. So I don't know if that changed. They might have said, we're not bringing any of the recruits in. We got to sell these tickets. I don't know. But that they were expected to be there, so that's pretty cool.
And our Mean Green's at home, so they're going to dump the Mean Green. The Mean Green, who are 2-0 and they're in the league, taking on Louisiana Tech. They're going to go. Oh,
yeah,
man.
I think even Jake would say you guys should go to that game. So, yeah, cool stuff.
Wow.
There. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the big game of the day that Luke Duplaga gave us a nice pick in. The NC State Wolfpack +3.5 as they visit the Syracuse Orange in the Carrier Dome. Again, that number, Syracuse 3.5, the total 44.5. Coach, you're with Luke on this one?
Yes, like NC State in this game. Yes,
okay.
I do.
All right. Sharp money on the under in this game. That's where I would lean right now. I think that's a good grinded out game. I think both of those teams realize they actually have something to play for a change this year, and I think it'll be very nip and tuck and tightly played. All right, Arkansas visiting BYU. This game completely flipped. BYU opened up -2.5. It's now Arkansas -1.5. The total 63. Any thoughts on this game? BYU coming off that loss to Notre Dame. Arkansas has been a team I've not been impressed with. I backed them a few times, and I think they've been awful. They just don't seem to finish games.
Honestly, I can't get a feel on this game after watching BYU Notre Dame. I thought BYU could have easily won that game,
right.
But I don't have much of a feel on this game at all.
Okay, all right. Let's move on to the Maryland Terrapins visiting the Indiana Hoosiers. Maryland minus 11 on the road. The total 61.5. Indiana 18-6-1 as a home dog the last 10 years. Seems like a little bit too many points to play on the road. I'll probably pass it on this game. I'm a pro Maryland guy, but I don't trust them laying 11 on the road.
Well, I don't trust them, but I think there'll be points scored in this game. Yeah. I like the game over the total.
It's a good call.
Yeah, I really do. Even though I had Indiana-Michigan game over last week, Indiana kept stubbing her toe when they would get into Michigan territory. But I look for a lot of points to be scored in this game, and I like this game over the 61.5.
All right, staying in the Big Ten, Wisconsin Badgers visiting the Michigan State Spartans. Wisconsin opened -5. That's now up to -7.5. The total 48.5. Man, I don't know if Wisconsin should be laying 7.5 on the road to pretty much anybody. I know they got a little shot in the arm with the coaching change, Jim Leonard, who is, that's his alma mater. So they're playing pretty hard for him right now. Michigan State, I know neither of us are impressed with them, but do you think that Wisconsin can cover this 7.5 on the road?
Well, I look for if you're another Big Ten game that I look as
under
as a sleeper. I think if you're tired and you need to.
That one's on Fox.
Get something to put you to sleep. I would say watch this game, but I can't bet either one of these teams. To be honest with you, I just don't like Michigan State. They can't guard the pass. And Wisconsin's not that same team they used to be, even though, like you said, they got a spark with the coaching change. But I don't like either side of this game.
I'm staying away from that one. All right, let's go to the ACC. The Clemson Tigers visiting Rodney's Florida State Seminoles. The Tigers now opened -5.5, Clemson, and now it's down to 3.5. So Florida State money showing immediately. The total 51. I don't trust Florida State yet. I would be on Clemson in this matchup, but I think it'll be a good game, Coach. What do you think?
Florida State did get a big cover for me. Last week, and I'm going to play him again. I'm going to play him again this week. Okay. I like him.
It's one of the biggest games they've had in a while at Doak Campbell Stadium. They haven't been very good very often.
Yeah, Spencer gave me Florida State last week, and I'm sure he would do it again. But I like this game to stay fairly tight, and I see Florida State covering.
Okay, good call. All right. Let's go to the SEC now. Mississippi State visiting Kentucky. Mississippi State -7 on the road. Total 46.5. I can't get over this line. This is I don't want to say it's a 10-star, but it's pretty damn close.
You love Kentucky?
I absolutely love Kentucky. I think they'll win the game. I'm going to check injuries. I don't understand this. I looked through. I didn't see anything that stuck out here on a Wednesday. But take a look at Kentucky, folks. I don't see how this is possible that they're getting 7 at home. But when it looks too good to be true, sometimes it is. So, I'm gonna proceed to tread lightly on this, but I do really like Kentucky. What are your thoughts?
I'm with you, and I'm not going to argue that because you're very strong on them. And Kentucky is 4-0 as a home dog. So I'm taking the Wildcats also.
And Mike Leach, for as good as he is, and I like the guy, but he always seems to stub his toe in these games where he should be, favored or whatever the people think.
I agree.
Odds makers. He always loses a game like that, so this is the one, I think.
I agree.
All right, let's move on to Luke's Irish. Luke on the road at baseball tonight. We miss him, but he'll be back next week. Stanford Cardinal visiting the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The Irish -16.5, total 53. Sharp money showing on the over in this game, and the last 4 of these in the series have gone over. Notre Dame maybe started to get it clicking last week, Coach.
I agree. I like Notre Dame a lot in this game.
And Stanford has shown me nothing.
Very, very, very good play for me right here at home.
Okay. I like
at night. I'm going to see if the Pine Room guys want to take and try
Busch Light?
Try to do well.
Or this going to be our Pine Room bet?
Okay. Maybe our Pine Room bet.
All right.
It could be me, our Busch Light pick. I might. Jeff might have to announce that.
Well, we have a council meeting later, so we'll talk about that and
absolutely
figure that out. All right, let's go on to the Big Ten. Nebraska visiting Purdue. Purdue opened -12. It's now all the way up through 13, all the way up to 14. Total 58.5. Boilermakers have impressed me, Coach.
Yes, they have.
I didn't realize how stout their defense was and how physical they were. And it also makes me upgrade Penn State a little bit, who played them in that first game of the season. I think both those teams are kind of Big Ten sleepers a little bit. Maybe not Penn State because they're not really a sleeper, but Purdue's been very impressive. I've been on the wrong side against them a couple of times. I'm not messing with that. It's either Purdue or nothing in this game.
I agree. I'm with Purdue in this game. I'm with you. I think I've been very impressed with Purdue. Last week they what was the final score of that game last week? I
was on the wrong side of it.
They beat Maryland 31-29.
Yeah, it was a good game, and Maryland's pretty good too.
Maryland's pretty good. Maryland's much improved. Purdue's much improved.
Yep.
I'm looking here. Purdue is now what is Purdue's record? Purdue is 4-2, 4-2, 2-1 in 2-1 in conference, 4-2.
Yep.
And I like them to take care of business here.
I agree. Nebraska's
like
just no matter what they do, the season's lost for them. So. All right, on to the Pac-12, USC visiting Utah. Huge game here. The Utes -3. The total opened at 59.5, and it's all the way up to 65.5 right now. Sharp money showing on the over in this game, as you can see by the line movement. Utah 7-0 against the spread in their last 7 at home. Is this where the USC train derails this week, Coach?
I think so. I think Utah's very experienced at home. Big game for them. I look for Utah to cover that 3 points.
Yeah, and I'm not pro Utah, but I don't love USC in this spot. I think it's very dangerous for them. I'm anxious to see what they can do in this visiting Utah here. I don't love them. Maybe over, but that line now jumping up 6 points, I'll probably stay away from it. It's not the best of the numbers, so I'm going to probably sit that game out. All right, one more Pac-12 matchup. Washington State visiting Oregon State.
Oregon State, your team.
Yeah, -3 at home in Corvallis. Total 53.5. I like this game under, and I would lean Oregon State there. Don't love the spot, but would probably jump on the Beavers and under there. Any thoughts on that game?
I'm with you there. I'm with you with Oregon State. I like them, and I'm going to play them definitely as a late night, hopefully not broken rib play at 9 o'clock.
Hopefully not. Any of the other late games that intrigue you or any games that we missed in the card?
Nothing else I see. I did. There was one other game that I liked. I like Florida. Let's see. That's a 7 o'clock game. I like Florida -2.5. I think LSU is a little troubled right now. I like the Gators. It's all right. I like the Gators. Laying the 2 at home.
Okay.
Actually 2.5 against LSU. I think LSU's a little troubled. Brian Kelly, not the savior that everybody thinks he's going to be.
Yeah.
And
I think both teams need that game, and Florida's at home, so I'd lean Florida as well.
I'm leaning Florida there.
Job, where are you going this week? You got to have a 10-star locked up.
I'm all over the place. I think I'm going to go to Tennessee. I want to go to College Game Day. I want to go to
Rocky Top.
Yeah.
You'll always be
Smoky Mountains.
Take them on the money line, and there's my.
You like their ends.
You
You like the checkered. You like the checkered end zone.
Yeah, I like checkers.
Cool environment for a game.
Oh, you do? I didn't know that.
All right, well, that does it for the college card here on Bettor's Last Stand. We're going to take a quick break and then come back and jump into the NFL.
Go make some money.
We'll be right back on BLS.
This show is for informational and entertainment purposes only. All wagering activity should only be conducted by those 21 years of age or older and within the confines of federal, state, and local law. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, contact 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
All right, welcome back to Bettor's Last Stand. Thanks again to Luke Duplaga and folks down at Generations. Luke giving us 2 good plays again with NC State and the Denver Broncos. We'll see how those do this weekend, 2 underdogs. Let's jump into some NFL here, Coach.
I want to throw out Busch Light, too. Anheuser-Busch. No?
I'll cut it.
Oh, we can't do Anheuser. Yeah, we're like, yeah.
Okay, I want to send out a Karen Bauer Distributing for being a big supporter of us, Busch Light, Aaron and her crew down there at Karen Bauer, and they we're possibly going to do a little show down
Yes,
there
that'll be
inside
fun.
the cooler, which would be cool with a bunch of
like it.
beer. And I want to send a shout out to one of our best listeners, the D-Man, Duggar.
Yes.
Doug Ladd. He provided us with a ton of great Duggar's food, his mac and cheese, chicken tenders, and
The rolls.
and his pepperoni rolls, some of the best in the valley. And he always comes to the Pine Room and has a ball with us and gives us his insight.
Yeah, it was good to see Doug. We talked about the podcast, and I know Jubb and him talked for a while. And, been a great supporter of us
Great
all the way
ideas.
around.
Thank you to the D-Man. Good
from
buddy.
the beginning. So.
Good buddy. We're good friends and appreciate everything he does for us. And comes and sees
Get on
us.
down there to Duggars. If you're not going to Generations, get to Duggars. Two great spots. Great
right.
food, consistency, just everything you want to see where you get your food and drink. So
I know one of the girls that I teach with, Carmen, just can't say enough about his. Actually, she said her goal in life is to work at Duggars. She might quit teaching and go work at
that sounds like
at Duggars. So she loves it. Every time she has a family gathering, she goes and sees the D-Man. So,
all right.
Thank you, Duggar.
Yeah.
All right.
Between her and Nick, probably keeps the lights on down there. So.
Well, I've helped out a lot.
Yeah,
The Pine Room has been a big supporter of the Duggar.
Always be. So, all right, let's get into this great NFL card. Chris, wish he was here right now. He really was excited about this week's week 6. Starting with this incredible game on Thursday, which we won't waste a whole lot of time on.
How could they? Where were they thinking? What are they thinking?
Commanders at Bears, yeah.
What is the NFL thinking?
2 weeks in a row, maybe no touchdowns. Maybe no touchdown again.
Bad stuff.
All right, we'll skip that game. Best of luck to you. Maybe the under. Tampa Bay visiting the Steelers. The Buccaneers -8. Total 43.5. A couple contrasting trends here. The Steelers 5-0 ATS versus the NFC South in the last 5 meetings, while the Buccaneers are 7-0 on the road against the AFC North.
Oh, boy.
I don't see how you can possibly take the Steelers in this spot. Even if you like them, I would wait a week again because this team may be just historically awful for them, Coach, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, but I really had a feeling that they were going to cover against the Bills, and I have no idea why. Thank God that wasn't our Busch Light pick, even though we didn't hit it. Thank God, because that was that they are just abysmal right now with just so many, not just Watt being out and quarterback issues. Their offensive line, Najee can't run. Their receiving core is just. Other than what's the one receiver?
Pickens. Yeah, he's made some plays.
Yeah, but they're just their defense is the secondary's been Swiss cheese. I mean, they're just one top to bottom. It's just awful, and I'm actually surprised the line's only 8. I thought it'd be a little bit more.
And
than
I
that.
believe Jarrett, Cools, and Soup will be at this game.
Yeah.
So
and Job's not going. You're not going, Job?
I am not going.
That's a shocker.
You're a smart man.
Usually jump on any kind of tickets to go to a game.
You don't want to sit in traffic and watch that crap, do you, Job?
I'm busy that day.
Good.
What are you going to milk the chickens?
Booked
Yeah.
up.
Okay. Well, anyway, you'll miss a great one.
Yeah.
So
all right.
Well, anyway, that game.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got to play Tampa, you just have to.
And honestly, I'd take a shot at the under. I'd also take a look at the Steelers' point total. If that thing's like 14.5 or I might play it. Tampa's defense has been pretty strong. They may not move the ball at all on them.
I'll say.
Thought under was worth a look there.
Chris has killed us 2 weeks in a row with Tampa's defense. He got 22 points 2 weeks ago.
He's making up for Najee Harris that he hates. That he drafted
that
him.
was a bad. He could have Nick Chubb.
Yeah, well, I got Nick Chubb.
But well, thank God you do because he has Najee, and that's been bad. But you have to play Tampa there. You just have to.
Yep, I go Tampa and under. All right, on to our next ball game. The Bengals visiting the Saints. Bengals on the road, -1.5, total 44 even on this game. 10-0 to the under the last 10 the Bengals have been. I don't know how the Bengals are laying points in this game. I know everybody's down on the Saints, so am I. But I like the Saints to win this game. Very anti-Bengal, as you've known from the show from the beginning. I just don't think they've worked out any of their kinks yet. I'd lean Saints and under here, Coach. What do you think?
I like the Saints. I don't lean either way on the total, but I would play the Saints here against the Bengals, yes.
Okay. All right, let's go on to Cleveland, who hosts the New England Patriots.
This is one of my best plays of the week.
Browns -2.5, total 42.5. Where do you go here?
I love the Browns in this game.
Okay, I would agree.
Love the Browns in this game. I think the Browns just can't get out of their own way. It's a shame. They should have won that game shoulda, coulda,
right.
woulda. But they should have beaten the Chargers.
Chargers, yeah.
They should have won that game. They could kick.
2 weeks in a row. They should have beat the Falcons
and
as well.
I think if the fans stick behind them and they stay focused, I think this is a 2-touchdown win for the Browns this week. It's my best play of the week.
I would agree, and to help the Browns' cause, Damian Harris out for the Patriots. That hurts
and I think
them.
the Browns are fairly healthy, right? They
they
back.
just got it all comes down to that pass rush. If Garrett is playing, and then they're as good as anybody. And obviously they're just trying to buy time till they get Deshaun Watson back, where they can become a little more dynamic on offense. But their offense hasn't been the problem; it's been their damn secondary. But that has to do with the pass rush. You give the guy too much time, that's what happens. Justin Herbert's a hard guy to defend when you give him time. So I'm with you though. Browns all the way in that game. All right, on to the next matchup. San Francisco visiting the Atlanta Falcons. 49ers minus 5.5, total 44.5. The Niners pulled up a post down at Greenbrier this week. They stayed on the East Coast. They're staying down there, so they didn't have to go back across the country.
They went and saw the governor.
Yeah, they stayed down there. They did that 2 years in a row. I think they did
cool.
that. Yeah, so Niners stay out here after they played Carolina last week and flex their muscles there. I'm a big fan of this Niner team. They're a little banged up. And the Falcons are a little dangerous. This will probably be a game I won't be too interested in, but I would lean Niners a little bit. I think they're the better team.
But as you and I always say, there are a couple teams that we like to always stay in the games battle. The Texans are one of them, and I think the Falcons are another. Falcons are 5-0. Falcons are the only
spread,
the only team in the NFL that's undefeated against the spread.
ATS.
So I see the Falcons again.
This could be a field goal game.
Keeping it close again. I like Atlanta here.
Okay. Yep. Makes sense. All right. Next game: New York Jets visiting the Green Bay Packers. Packers off a terrible performance in London. Packers minus 7 at home at Lambeau Field. Total 46. New York Jets 8-2 to the over against the NFC North. I kind of like this game over a little bit, but don't have a strong feel here. I'm leery of playing teams coming back off the London trip, even though they're at home. But I don't know. The Jets off of a big win as well.
I think the Jets. I like the Jets again, getting 7 points here. I think the Jets are a little bit better than they have been.
Sure.
And I'm not sold on the Packers. You're right. That was a terrible loss against the Giants.
Yeah. They were in control of that game too, and just completely let it go. Bad coaching, just bad all the way around. Defense has not been as good as advertised. Could be a trouble spot for them. They probably hold on because they're at home, but probably not covering that 7. If you
like
get 7.5, get on the JETS. Get on it. All right. Says Jags visiting the Colts. The Colts minus 2, total 42. The Colts have been just abysmal to me. 1-7 against the spread in their last 8 against a division home opponent. So if you're only 1-7 against the spread in your division at home, that's not a good sign. I like for the Jags to get back on track here and win the game.
I like this game under the total.
Okay.
The Colts have played 5 games, all 5 under. The Jags are 3-2 to the under. So I like this game. I like this game under the total of 42.
And interesting, following up on your Colts under, their games are staying under by an average of 12.5 points per game.
I like this game under.
Craziness.
I would play this game under.
All right, let's move on to the Baltimore Ravens, who visited the New York Giants at the Meadowlands. Ravens minus 5.5, total 44.5. Giants have been playing well. Saquon Barkley's been outstanding. Great call by Luke at the beginning of the year on this show. He said Saquon was going to have a monster season. He has so far. Ravens get eke out a win on Sunday night against the Bengals. Amazing what happens when you kick field goals and take the points, huh, Coach? That's why they won the game.
It is amazing.
Yeah, so they obviously a couple weeks ago they didn't do that. This past week they did. I'd probably stay away from this game. I think the Ravens win the game, but I can see this being a field goal game. I'd lean Giants, but I don't love it.
I think the Giants will be able to run the ball here. I think Saquon could have a good game here. And the Giants are a little better, 4-1.
They are.
Shocking the NFL world, and I could see them once again staying in this game at home. I
think if they don't turn it over, if the Ravens don't get to Daniel Jones and force turnovers, I think this is a very close game.
I agree.
So.
Yep.
All right, Minnesota at Miami. The Vikings minus 3, total 45.5. Be sure and check the Dolphins' quarterback status. Tua is still not back practicing. Teddy Bridgewater was in the protocol, although I don't think anything happened to him. Do you think Teddy Bridgewater was kind of a victim of Tua getting hurt a couple of weeks early?
Absolutely, he was.
So they're
100%.
ultra cautious, and then that was the end of the Dolphins. After that, they had to bring the poor guy in from Kansas State, I believe, who hasn't ever played, and that was ugly. But I can't really get a good read on this. I would really like the Dolphins in this game if they had an adequate quarterback. Kirk Cousins laying points on the road, I don't want any part of. 45.5 the total. I'm wait and see on this one because it all depends on the Dolphins quarterback.
I'm pass there.
All right,
for sure.
Carolina at the L.A. Rams. The Rams have been horrendous. The Panthers have been worse. Rams minus 10.5, total 41. Panthers fired Matt Rule. Don't know if that fires the team up. Right now it seems like they might be better off just trying to tank and get the first draft pick. I don't know. Rams, to me, shouldn't be laying 10.5 against anybody in an NFL game. They've been really bad. I don't know. I may go under in this game. I don't know. I don't love anything.
I'm leaning the under. I was going to say the same thing. I'm leaning under here in this game. Actually, I like that quite a bit.
Yeah.
The Rams have absolutely been able to not been able to move the ball.
Right.
I'm surprised at the running game. They can't run the football. Matt Stafford's getting just beat up.
Yes.
I don't like. I like this game under the total.
Yep, I'd go under. I saw this crazy stat. Carolina 1-34 straight up, 6-28-1 ATS when they allow over 17 points to their opponent.
Wow,
that's pretty bad. I don't even know. Rams have 7. If they get to 17, they'll probably win 17-10.
I agree.
All right, on to the next game. The Arizona Cardinals visiting the Seattle Seahawks. The Cardinals 2.5-point road favorites. Total 50.5. Cardinals have been very good on the road under Cliff Kingsbury, so I see why that number is what it is. But Geno Smith has been very good for the Seahawks so far this season. Seahawks putting up a lot of points. I would lean to the over in this game. There could be a shootout.
I'm with you there.
If it doesn't rain, I think a shootout.
I'm playing the over there too. Also,
okay.
Yep.
And then the game of the week. It doesn't get any better than this. 4:25 on CBS. The Bills visiting the Chiefs. The Bills minus 2.5 on the road. Total 54, and that's all I'm going to say is Patrick Mahomes 9-0 as a dog against the spread.
First time at home though. The Chiefs have since Mahomes been there.
And I will be all over the Chiefs in this game. But I do think these are the two best teams probably in the NFL. But I'll be on the Chiefs. They're going to catch points at home. I will take them anytime I can.
I would say other than Baltimore, these two teams will fight to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I would think.
Yeah, out of the AFC, I would say this is a really good preview of the championship game and a very big game because of the home field implications.
Absolutely.
If you get and I remember that game last year. If that's at Orchard Park, the Bills may eke that. Just great, two incredible teams. Though.
Yes,
going to be really fun to watch that game and probably a sign of things to come. All right, in our Sunday night game, the Dallas Cowboys, another big game here. Dallas visiting the Philadelphia Eagles, the unbeaten Eagles. Eagles minus 5, 42.5. Is the total on this game. I like Philly in this spot.
So do
I feel like Dallas's balloon's going to burst.
So do I.
Pressure's on them a little bit. Now, they have done a great job, and I got to say, I was all over Mike McCarthy being horrible, and he usually is. He hasn't made a blunder yet this year. He's due. So I'll take Philly in this game. I think Philly's very good. Jalen Hurts has just been superb.
That's why I like them at the beginning of the year to go over their win total because they surrounded him with great
weapons and
great
offensive line.
And he is a multi-dimensional quarterback that can do it all. And I think they could make a lot of noise in the NFC.
Totally agree. Right now, that game we just mentioned, Buffalo, KC, the winner of that, and I can see him playing the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
I agree.
Those might be the three best quarterbacks in the league, at least as far as performance-wise goes so far. All right, in our final game, the game that Luke Duplaga gave us a good pick on earlier, Denver Broncos visiting the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers minus 5, total 45.5. That's Monday Night Football. Guess I got to go with Luke on this. I'd probably take the points, but man, the Chargers, they're a dangerous team because they got a great quarterback, and I have not been impressed with Denver. I think their coach is awful, and Russell Wilson's been terrible, and he's got an injury. So.
I'm sticking with Luke. Line looks too fishy for me. I think it should be at least 7. I think the Chargers should be giving the Broncos 7. Something's fishy there. I'm taking the 5, and I'm riding with Luke, the hottest handicapper in town.
Yeah, division games, whenever you're laying more than a field goal, I think I mentioned that really early back on the shows. Keep an eye out. Never a bad thing to take the dog in those spots when you're getting more than 3.5. So, all right, well, that about does it for us here on Bettor's Last Stand. Again, check out all the Pine Room stuff, all of our social media. Thanks again to Jubb for everything he's doing. He's working from dawn to dusk every day, or probably dawn till the next dawn, actually. It's more fitting. But anyway, thanks to him for everything he's doing. Visit our shop, thepineroomshop.com. Contact us, contact at thepineroompodcast.com for email, and at thepineroompodcast.com. Social media, lots of things going on. Soup's probably added like 15 more things to our calendar since we've been doing this show, so we'll keep you abreast on those, on all the shows that we got coming up and everything live, and our recorded shows that we do every week. Coach, it was a blast as always.
Yes,
we'll
thanks to everybody.
Hope your rib heals up and we have another good week here at the
Feel
Pine
a little
Room.
better, and keep supporting us. And we got a lot of things cooking, folks. We're gonna be on the map here soon, heavy. So
all right,
stick with us.
That's Bettor's Last Stand. We'll see you next week.
See ya.